And so it begins. So I've possibly just got unbelievably lucky. This guy that stopped is going to Hamburg. We've stopped to charge like his car at this weird electric charging place. It's like a farm, but it's got this cute like little shop over there. But yeah, strange. Got really lucky. Was literally there what, like a minute, if that. And he's going to Hamburg. Perfect. Right. Yesterday was rather successful. I don't think we're going to get as much luck today. I'm currently walking down this beaten path, but there is a service station somewhere around here, and I'm hoping that's my best chance to get to Denmark today. I will say the weather's supposed to turn in an hour or two, which isn't ideal, but hopefully might give people, you know, might make people a bit more sympathetic to me if I'm still stood there in the rain. But I'm not seeing many Danish cars, which, let's be honest, is going to be the best chance of me getting anywhere. And I don't have a sign, which is a slight issue. So we might end up speaking to a lot of German people today with not much luck. So we'll see what happens there. It's taken me about 2 hours just to get here, so I'm really hoping we can get a lift here. But from what I was seeing, this is the road there is basically the road that, you know, every car is going on if they're going to Denmark. So we'll see. This possibly couldn't have gone as bad as it did. Not only is it taking me 2 hours to get here, the service station is closed. Fuck. I guess our only hope now is that either people don't know it's closed and do the same thing I've done, which seems unlikely given how quiet it is here, or a lorry, because lorries do seem to be stopping, and I might just have a quick look around the ones that have stopped, but a lot of them certainly don't look Danish, as in the lorries, not the drivers. Right, we're in a bit of a pickle here. None of those lorries are going anywhere near Denmark, which one isn't good, but two possibly means I'm in the wrong place entirely. But I don't get that because I have checked it multiple times. I think our best bet is to go up to, there's a sort of fuel station up there, and I think our best bet is to try and catch a ride that way. However, unlikely. Right. Possibly the most painful thing ever. So I've been stood there, not that long, only 10 minutes or so. The Danish car has just pulled up, but they didn't pull up for me. Really annoyingly. Unless they did and they've just driven away and I've just wasted my chance. Who knows? And I didn't, because they'd kind of seen me. So they came in from this road here and then pulled in here, but like past me and like, you know, didn't give me eye contact or anything like that. I kind of didn't want to. I don't know how much of this you're even going to hear, to be honest, but I kind of didn't want to go like directly and ask them, so I feel weird about doing that kind of stuff. But they were in a Denmark car, which could be annoying, but. Again, not sure how much you're going to hear this. I think we've got a new plan though. I think what's happening is the cars are coming off the motorway and then they're coming in here and then they go into like the garage, the like fuel station. So what I might do is go up there, because that's where the cars will be, and I think the odds of me getting picked up by a lorry or truck compared to a car is pretty low. So let's go for that plan. I'm just going to get some water, look like a normal citizen, and then move on. not sure why. All the cars seem to have just disappeared. And do you want to know the worst bit? It's like taking the piss. Look, it's showing me where I should be going. But yeah, I don't know. I moved here. I've only been here 10 minutes or so. But it seems that all the cars have just disappeared. Which is a bit strange. But who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky. Yeah, not seeing many Danish cars. But to be fair, when I went to the opticians a few weeks ago, maybe I should have listened to them, because I really can't tell the number plates until they're basically in front of me. Yeah, we'll see. I'll probably wait here maybe a couple more hours. Weirdly enough, it's actually quite fun. Ooh, fell off the curb. Weirdly enough, it is actually quite fun. I had a group of sort of Asian tourists that jumped off a bus and started taking pictures of me. So that was fun. So I've made their experience better, if not mine. To be fair, looking at some of these cars going by, I'm actually thinking maybe they're people I've already seen, sort of, because I was down there and this is where the cars come from. So maybe these are hopefully ones I've already seen that are just going by. Yeah, fingers crossed we'll have a bit more lucky, maybe 10-20 minutes once they've all sort of departed and we start getting new cars. Oh my god, what is happening to my hair? Maybe that's why people aren't picking me up. Maybe I need to get a hat on. The problem is my only hat doesn't look particularly friendly. Don't know how a hat can look unfriendly, but there is a few cars coming, so I'm going to leave you be a second. Right, taking off the sunglasses, maybe that made me look a bit more friendly. Mark's about an hour of being here. And I'm alright, I'm having fun. The only thing I would say is slightly discouraging is the lack of stops at all. I've not had a single person stop. And I don't want to get to the point where someone stops, they're not even vaguely going really in the right direction, but I take it. And part of me is like, do I do that anyway, just so I'm out of this place? Because I feel the issue with this place, because that main building is closed, whether people just won't come here because of it. I'm guessing so, because who knows, but there is a car coming, so let me give it a try. Nope, that was a failure. Yeah, I think Jörg, who picked me up yesterday, that I didn't show you much of because I don't know, my first time doing it, so didn't really want to just stick a camera in his face, and he seemed like the kind of person that probably wouldn't want that. But he made it too easy. He picked me up within what felt like about 30 seconds. I'm sure it was probably a couple of minutes. And now I've been here for an hour and yeah, not even having a single person. So let's see what we can do. Right, back again. Only been 10 minutes probably since I last updated you. Been an hour or so. I've been waiting here. The only thing I've spotted is there is another on-ramp just a bit further, and the thing is, it's hard to explain, but there's a lot of traffic coming from there, and I wonder if that's gonna be a better option than a service station that's closed. But I don't know if I want to leave here. But there is a couple of I think the problem with standing here is I'm getting some, but I'm missing people that are either fueling up or coming on at that stop. So I'm gonna move. Gonna be honest, not sure if moving is the best idea here, but I just think it's obviously a quantity thing, isn't it? And the fact that no one's stopped for me in an hour and a bit doesn't fill me with hope. And I think that, the fact that the service station's closed as well, that's probably the biggest thing for me. So we move, and annoyingly it's where I walked past earlier. I'm in the new spot, but it's not the best spot because there's not much space to stop. There's a lot of lorries coming by, which might be a good sign. The only thing that isn't a good sign is the sign that's over there that basically says Berlin and Hamburg Central, which is kind of not the right direction at all. But let's see. Small update. Had a couple of people stop, but no one successful. They're all sort of not going the right direction. But I've only been here like 20 minutes or so, so it's definitely better. The only thing I will say is one of them did tell me I was in the wrong place, so we'll see about that. Right, we're on to day 2 of trying to get out of Hamburg via hitchhiking. Yesterday was not a good success. I mean, I only wasted 3 hours or so, and in the end, you know, I think I was just in the wrong place basically to get the lift. Didn't help that the service station was closed, of course. But yeah, so we're the other side of Hamburg now. I'm a lot more hopeful, but who knows? You know, yesterday was not a wasted day. Met some lovely people at the hostel. Had a good night watching the first game of the World Cup. So, you know, I think that's just how I'm gonna have to look at things on this journey. Not everything's gonna be smooth sailing like my trip with Jörg, but yeah, should be good. Hopefully. Well, no, this one's definitely not closed because we sort of went past it on the way here. It's taken me about 2 hours to get here, so I'm really fucking hoping that, you know, we're not just going to end up turning around again. Right, quick update. Not even quite here yet. Well, basically here. We might have a bit of an issue because it seems particularly well guarded from this side. I mean, I don't know how well you can see this, but there is one fence and then there's another fence. And that's really not going to help. I can only hope it widens up. Oh yeah, I'm not sure how much you can see, but that's a lot of fence over there. And fences are no good. Yeah, I've just got to sort of fingers crossed that I can get in over there, because otherwise I really don't know what to do. That's a fence that possibly is scalable, but it's not the easiest task for a man like myself. And also, I'm not being funny, once you scale a fence into a place like that, how quickly does security come? Probably pretty quickly. So, oh, and there's guard dogs up there. Oh no, hopefully, I think it's just a dog. Never mind. The other thing that's not filling me with hope, this lorry thing is pretty fucking empty. Which hopefully isn't a sign of things to come. It is a Friday, which I think works in our favour, in the fact that you'd have thought people would be travelling more, but who knows. Right, update. I'm in here. I've got a good spot. I think I get all the cars that will come out here. There's a fence there. If you come here, don't expect it to be open because I think it should have had a padlock on it, but I was lucky that it didn't. Already had one person stop, and I think I might regret it. So they did offer me a lift, and they're going to Kiel, which is kind of north, which is the right way, but it's a bit sort of east for where I want it to be, and I think it just takes me off the path a bit. I think I basically, as soon as I said it, pretty sure I'm going to regret that. Other update, it's now raining, which isn't ideal, and I've just had a look at the weather forecast and it's updated and it's supposed to get very heavy later, so fingers crossed that's fine, but I'll keep you updated. So, to update you, I've basically written off lorries. Just don't seem to give a shit, and I think that's being a bit harsh. I think they probably would if they could, but I think certainly in places like Germany and probably a lot of Europe and a lot of the world really, they've probably banned it for, you know, you can't just pick someone up. You know, it's probably a corporate thing rather than a personal thing. But who knows? We'll see. Right, we're on the move, and I'm hoping it's going to be better up there. While I've got a bit of time, I'm just walking. I thought I might as well update what I'm actually doing, because I don't think I've really done that yet. So the idea was to hitchhike from the UK all the way around the world ideally, but certainly to Australia at least. And I know that still sounds silly because it's still a ridiculous distance, but that would be my ideal. Now obviously, due to political tensions, that's not really possible to do completely because of borders being closed and, you know, places that you really shouldn't go as a Brit or really anyone, which makes it a bit harder. So obviously there will be some exceptions. I'm not a maniac. I'm not gonna, you know, go for Iran at the minute. But the idea is as much as possible to hitchhike where I can. Now, it kind of failed at the first hurdle in the fact that I couldn't do it from the UK, or I could, but it'd been awkward. So basically, the idea was to catch a ferry from a place in the UK to the Netherlands. The issue with it was my mum is quite protective and offered me a lift, and at which point I couldn't really turn it down because, let's be honest, I think she'd have, you know, thought something. And don't think I'm being completely stupid. I have told people I'm doing this and I'm updating it, and, you know, I'm staying safe. But obviously, I didn't really want my mum knowing that. Right, we've got here, and I'll be honest, not the greatest spot because there's not a lot of stopping space. So this is the spot, but that's the main autobahn. So really not ideal, to be honest, because yeah, there's really not much space to stop. And I actually, yeah, they're kind of coming from 3 lanes, I think. So they're coming from this lane we just walked down, this lane here, and then also that one. And that one is probably the better one in a way, because that, I believe, is where the sort of gas station people are going. So let's see. Right, sunglasses are on. It's actually weirdly bright despite the fact that there is no sun at all. I've just had possibly the worst thing happen to me. Not the worst, it's definitely not the worst. But I just had a Danish lorry driver pull up, and then he already had someone in there. I don't know if it was, you know, another hitchhiker or his, you know, partner, or maybe not his partner. Gutting though. And I hadn't even noticed it was Danish until he drove off as well, which was the worst sort of bit. But there's another camper van coming, so fingers crossed. Oh, I'm so gutted, man. I'm so gutted. That really would have been it. That would have been nice and easy, one and done, at least to Denmark. God knows where he was going in Denmark, but, you know, one and done. Not to be, but it's giving me hope. Giving me hope. I mean, I've only been here. What are we at? How the hell do I get to this? We've been here just over an hour, but fingers crossed. We've gone and done it, we've got a lift. Whoa. Oh, thank you very much. Right, we've made it to Denmark. Saskia and Lucas, absolute legends, taking me a decent way. The only issue is I thought they were going further than they are. So they've had to drop me off at the service station it's got food. It looks like I'm in the middle of a field, but it's just over there at the minute. It's got food and stuff. So I'm hoping it will be pretty busy now. So yeah, we've just got to hope and pray. I've not got high hopes for this one, to be honest, but who knows. Right, see you in a bit. It's yeah, it's not looking good. Been here not too long. It's more the weather, which is pretty crap, and I have a feeling about to get worse. But it's also, there's just no one here, which is really annoying. Like it's just drips and drabs of people, and they all seem to have like just carloads of stuff. I've spoken to a couple of people, but sort of outside the cars. Like I've spoken to a couple of people outside the cars, and they all seem nice, but it's just, you know, cars filled. This was not a good idea, and it's just started raining more. And the stupid thing about this is, and this is really down to me, but probably should have come off earlier, maybe even in Germany, because apparently a lot of people stop before Germany to like fuel up because it's more expensive here. So not many people fuel up in places in Denmark, in the south of Denmark anyway. The other issue with this, I'm at a diner that I don't believe has a fuel station, which means, I mean, it's almost 3 o'clock now. Are we likely to get many more people coming for food? I guess maybe later, but I don't really want to be stood here, 6-7 o'clock when people start actually coming for dinner. The only backup here is there is a town a few miles that way, but it's not really a backup because all the hotels are stupid prices, and I don't really want to pay that. So potentially my backup is camping in a field over there, but I don't really. It's just such a fucking hassle with the tent when it's rained, obviously, because it's all wet. Let me have a look at what the weather's doing tomorrow. Let's have a look at that, actually. Brilliant. So the weather tomorrow is even worse, which really isn't ideal, because I just think it's so unlikely we're going to get to Copenhagen tonight, and anywhere else isn't ideal. Okay, after sitting in that place for probably an hour or so, I suddenly realised it actually closes at 5 o'clock, meaning that not many more people were going to show up, at least, on purpose. So, what we're doing, and one of the great things about Denmark is they have, and a lot of the Scandinavian countries, but Denmark has this really cool system where it's not like you can camp anywhere, but they have a lot of sites where you can camp. So there's one about half an hour down the road, which I'm going to, and hoping there's actually a shelter there, which means I won't have to get the tent out. And whilst I don't mind getting the tent out, it's more a case of, I think it's going to rain in the morning, and I'd rather not put a wet tent back in the bag. It's just a hassle getting it sorted. So, fingers crossed, this place will exist, firstly, and secondly, that shelter's, 1, not in use, and 2, actually functioning as a shelter as opposed to something that leaks. Right, bad news, the road don't have a path. This thing here is a bike path, so hopefully we don't come across any bikes. The one thing I will say about this, I'm glad I'm in Denmark and not in the UK, because if this was the UK, the amount of rain we've had in the last couple of hours, these would be absolutely flooded, and every car that's coming past would just be splashing me. Would be splashing like shitloads of water on me. But luckily I'm barely getting wet at all with these splashes, to be honest. So okay, got a bit wet there. But shout out to Denmark and their drainage system, because this ain't happening in the UK, man. It's Pretty impressive. God, that sounds sad, don't it? Fucking hell, man. I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm lost. Because I keep thinking I'm seeing stuff and there's like paths everywhere. And then you got like these things. But I think that's just a kind of a walking sign. And it said there'd be a sign. There was a sign back there, but it definitely wasn't that place. There's a path. I don't know if that's... Is that the right... It's the right direction, but it's... Again, there's no sign. Aha! That was a sign. And I think it means we're here. Well, not here, but on the right way. Von Bergen's egg. Whatever that means. Right. Update on Van Berger's egg. Egg is oak. It's an oak tree that is 400 years old. And it once apparently stood alone without all this forest. And that is the oak tree. That is apparently about 400 years old. Right. I think... Yeah, we found it. Now, I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen a single signpost at all. And remarkably... oh, this is a joke. Apparently there's like several paths going to this, but I'm pretty sure I've done like a full circle around this place. Because that's the path I've just come down. That apparently is another path, which to be fair, I've probably not gone that way. But that, I was stood right there, wouldn't I? Or somewhere near here. It's quite a nice camp, to be honest. Certainly for like summers, I'd imagine it's... Oh my god, it's got a barbecue and everything. Yeah, you got like a place for a fire pit. You've got an actual like proper barbecue. Yeah, with proper grill and everything. Bench that's probably seen better days. But the piece de resistance, which is probably the most English way you've ever heard that said, is this shed over here. Trying to figure out where that massive oak is, because it should be right around here, I don't know. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is the shed. And, pleased to report, incredibly waterproof. By the looks of it, doesn't look like there's a single damp spot at all. What the fuck is that? I think that's fire starter, at least I hope it is. Otherwise, some Colombian drug lord's not going to be too happy with that. I'd love to have stuff like this in the UK, but realistically, it's just going to become a smoking shed, isn't it? I don't know, like, I feel like this would have been sick to have as a kid. Like, just, you know, not even necessarily coming out here for, like, camping, but, like, how sick is that? Like, you literally just spend all day there if it's raining, you know, a few mates.